2 millennia ago, Shimon the Just, one of our early sages, taught, "The world stands on 3 things, Torah, Avodah, and Gmilut Chasadim, lifelong learning, worship, and acts of loving kindness." 21 years ago, Mount Zion affirmed the truth of these words when we articulated our mission around these same values. And last year, our board of directors approved a strategic plan for how to uphold this mission for decades to come. In June 2023, after a 2-year process involving the entire congregation, the Kivun Le'atid, a direction for the future, Mount Zion's 2040 task force, yes, I did just say 2040, it's pretty cool, articulated a vision and a derech, a path, for ensuring that Mount Zion will continue to be a vibrant, welcoming, and inspiring Jewish spiritual home. Last Yom Kippur, 4 congregants spoke about a personal connection to one of the 4 aspirations of our vision: Shalom, wholeness and peace; tzedek, justice; shayachut, belonging; and simcha, joy. To reflect the ways in which these aspirations resonate differently for each of us, we will hear from 4 different speakers this year. We celebrate and embrace how shalom and tzedek and shayachut and simcha touch each of us as individuals, and we affirm our communal commitment to following this path. We will begin by reading our vision together. Our Jewish congregation envisions a community and a world where all people experience shalom, wholeness and peace, tzedek, justice, shayachut, belonging, and simcha, joy. And the derech, our path, refers to each part of this vision, beginning with Jewish congregation. Together, we will inspire Jewish experiences, stories, and practices, learn from Jewish history as we continue to innovate in our kivunim, directions of Torah, thoughtful study, Shabbat, soulful rest, and uplifting musical worship, tzedek, action that has impact, and Israel, intentional engagement with the Jewish people worldwide. We will get to hear from Robert Garfinkel, who's speaking about shalom, Eliza Miller, who will speak about tzedek, Abby Kanzer, who will speak about shayachut, and Sue Lund, who will speak about simcha. They have worked really hard on their words. They've written from the heart, and I promise you they're brief. So please open your ears and your hearts and take a deep breath before each of them shares.
From our derech, shalom, wholeness, and peace, we will strive to be a caring, compassionate community grounded in chesed, loving kindness. We will create an environment where each of us can bring our whole selves and listen to and learn from each other with curiosity and respect. I'm Robert Garfinkel. In this past year, my most enduring moment of shalom, of wholeness and peace, was March 3rd here at Mount Zion. On that Sunday, we invited the congregation to come together and talk about Israel and Gaza. I helped Rabbi Spilker organize and lead this event, and our intent was to create a space where any and all of us could speak to our feelings, our heartaches and fears, our beliefs and confusions. For people to speak their truth and, most importantly, to listen well to others do the same. About 70 people participated in the small group conversations. It was gratifying to me that about half the participants stayed afterwards for another 20 to 30 minutes to continue their conversations. To me, that was evidence that we had fostered a valuable environment for sharing. It might seem odd to you that I would tout this event as a highlight of peace and wholeness. After all, we were hosting conversations about conflict, war, and terrible tragedies. And we tried, and I think succeeded in inviting differences of opinion, creating a space for strong feelings of disagreement to surface. Where's the peace, love, and understanding in that? When I consider seeking wholeness and peace, I envision places and relationships that allow for diversity of perspectives to arise. I see wholeness and peace not as the absence of conflict, but as the place where strong bonds of trust and faith bend but don't break under the inevitable disagreements that arise among people living in communities with each other. Like us all, I treasure moments of contentment and connection with people I love, but I find those times ephemeral. They are moments that happen between yesterday's struggle and tomorrow's aspirations. More enduring is the wholeness I experience in navigating those struggles and aspirations with as open a heart as I can muster. My hope for Shalom here is that we, each and every one of us, can bring our whole selves to this community, that we have enough sinew and compassion to honor and celebrate all of the many facets of each other. For me, seeking Shalom is striving for a community where we can more fully see and be seen, creating a place where we can navigate our differences with humility, respect, and hopefully a sense of humor.
Tzedek, justice. We will engage congregants with diverse experiences and perspectives to learn from Jewish texts and from each other, and honor disagreements, as is our tradition. This will prepare us to partner with others to take action in the work of Tikkun Olam, healing and repair of the world. Be guardians of the earth, pursue equity, and counter oppression in its many forms. My name is Eliza Miller. I think tzedek is about treating everyone and everything with respect and care. Justice is important for everyone, even if they can't speak up for themselves, including trees and animals. Because they can't speak for themselves, we have to stand up for them and treat them with justice. Because we cut down trees, we need to replant them. Because we make trash, we need to clean it up. Because we eat animals, we need to treat them with respect. We have a whole Jewish holiday for celebrating trees, but that does not have to be the only day we think of it. We claim land, own land, and are very protective of it, but really, we're just borrowing it. I don't think anyone can own a piece of land because it is not ours to buy and sell. It belongs to God, and it belongs to itself. This means that we need to take care of it. Greta Thunberg, a Swedish climate activist, said, "I have learned you are never too small to make a difference." She's only 21 and started advocating for climate justice when she was 15. This shows anyone can make a difference.
From our Derech, Shayachut, belonging. We will connect in person, panim el panim, face to face, and strengthen our online connections. Nurture and grow our intergenerational and inclusive community, and honor our community members who are not Jewish. Deepen relationships with each other and our clergy and staff. I am Abby Konzer. Over 30 years ago, in my early 20s, I came out as queer, first to myself, then slowly to others. It was one of the scariest times in my life. Openness and inclusion was still distant on the horizon. I mustered the courage to tell a trusted friend, relieved to be received with love, acceptance, and encouragement. From there, I began telling others, growing space for self-acceptance, but there are moments I was still nervous. When I first moved to Minnesota in 1998 and came to Mount Zion, I wasn't sure if this was a place I could be fully authentic. While people were warm and welcoming, I think Mount Zion was on a similar journey to my own, still moving toward being visibly and openly supportive of the LGBT community. I left. I returned to Mount Zion about 10 years ago, wanting a place to raise my sons in Jewish community. This time was different. Mount Zion had had its own coming out of sorts, creating that space like my friend had done for me. The space I created for self-acceptance and the space Mount Zion built for inclusion was a perfect match that created Shayachut. When my son Nadav was preparing for the Sacred Choices retreat, he was asked to interview his parents. One of the questions was, how do you feel about the URJ's stance in favor of LGBT inclusion? Nadav laughed and said, we support it, of course. I realize it's much deeper than that. Had the URJ not taken that stance in favor of LGBT inclusion, would I be here? If Mount Zion had not proudly and publicly supported the rights of LGBT couples to get married in Minnesota, would my family have felt welcome here? Had I not made that turn to live my authentic self, would I be here? My family, Nadav. I can't answer these questions, but I do know now that when I walk through the doors of Mount Zion, I am home. Now my family and I are connected in so many ways to this wonderful community. I hope that I can be part of creating that space for others to find that as well.
From our Derech, Simcha, joy. We will focus on gratitude and seek joy in a time of great upheaval. Celebrate life, l'chaim. I am Sue Lund. It was during the pandemic. There I was in one of those little Zoom boxes, smiling and being my usual cheerful self. A friend asked me, "Are you always this joyful?" Well, no. I do cry, and just like the rest of us, I feel great despair and sadness, especially in this past year. One of my favorite lines from our liturgy is from Psalm 126. Those who sow in tears reap in joy. Have you ever noticed in that three-letter word joy that it ends in oy? Jewish joy is turning that oy into joy. As we seek joy in times of great turmoil, finding that Derech, our path to joy. Here at Mount Zion, I am Simcha. It is my clown name. I have been the Purim clown here for as long as I can remember, and I started running a mitzvah clowning program. This is our 13th year, our B'nai Mitzvah year of mitzvah clowning. We go to Shalom Home and we cheer up the residents, bringing and spreading joy, Simcha. This has been one of my greatest joys, a joyful path to helping and healing others. Not only do we manage to give joy to others, we receive joy right back. There is deep satisfaction in Jewish joy. After Yom Kippur, we build a sukkah in our backyard, and that's where we'll be tomorrow afternoon, building our sukkah. Sukkot is referred to as our season of joy. We remember surviving in the wilderness. We focus on gratitude for the gifts of shelter, security, and life. We rejoice. I have a button, I'm wearing it today. It's hard to see, but it says, "Don't postpone joy." When we feel joyous, we are not thinking about the past or the future. We live in the moment, the here, now, Hineni, and we feel grateful. May we continue to seek joy, perhaps in our next sunrise, or seeing the beauty of the fall leaves on a sunlit day. As darkness turns to light, we celebrate life. Lachem!